Title: Whispers of Love, Tyra's Tale. Part 1, Tyra's Encounter. Tyra Hudson had grown weary of the same old dating scene. Desperate for something different, she decided to check out this new nightclub downtown that her friend kept raving about. Maybe it was the feeling of anonymity in a crowd or the feeling of being out of the norm that brought her there, but whatever it was, Tyra was head over heels in love with the place from the moment she stepped foot inside. The neon lights, the rhythmic thumping of the music and the energy in the air was like nothing she had ever experienced before. As Tyra sipped her drink and took in the sights, she couldn't help but notice a tall, dark, and handsome stranger standing in the corner of the room. It was almost like she could feel her attraction to him from across the room. She was immediately drawn to him, wanting nothing more than to know his name. As if her thoughts had been heard, he suddenly made his way through the crowd towards her. He introduced himself as Julien Max and the two immediately hit it off, talking and laughing well into the night. Tyra felt a connection to Julien unlike any other connection she'd ever felt before. Intrigued by Julien, Tyra is confident that this time, things will be different. Their initial encounter is magical and genuine. Tyra permits herself to accept that destiny, maybe fate, might be on her side for once. Part 2, Torn. Just as Tyra was getting to the point where she felt she could trust Julien, their conversation was interrupted by a phone call from a mutual friend of Julien's. As the two of them talked, Julien's demeanor suddenly changed. He quickly said goodbye to Tyra and disappeared into the night without another word. Heartbroken and confused, Tyra returned home feeling as though her one chance of finding true love had been taken away from her. She spent the next few days trying to get in contact with Julien, but her calls went unanswered and her messages unanswered, leaving Tyra disheartened and questioning whether their connection was too good to be true. Doubt creeps in, but Tyra can't shake the memory of Julien and wonders if they are meant to be. Part 3, Unexpected. Just as Tyra was starting to give up hope, she bumped into Julien in the most unexpected of places, the grocery store. The two of them exchanged a few words before Julien made it clear that he wanted to see her again. Confused, but eager to get to the bottom of things, Tyra agreed to meet up with Julien at a cafe the next day. There, he finally revealed the truth about why he had been avoiding her. Turns out, Julien was a high-ranking member of the mob and had been in the middle of an undercover mission when he had met Tyra. His phone call had been from his boss, ordering him to stay away from her for fear of blowing his cover. Julien was determined to find Tyra again. Unbeknownst to Tyra, their encounter was more than just chance for Julien. He believed in second chances. Part 4, Revealed Truth. Tyra was in shock. She couldn't believe that someone like Julien was involved in something so dangerous. But despite all the risks, she was still drawn to him. She decided to take a chance and the two of them began dating, never letting anyone else in on their secret. Their relationship flourished and soon, Tyra was happier than she ever thought possible. As the months went by, she started to think that maybe she had finally found her one and only. But then, one day, Tyra heard on the news that Julien had been arrested in connection with a mob-related murder. In complete disbelief, she rushed to his side, only to find out that it had all been some kind of misunderstanding. It turns out, Julien had actually infiltrated the mob in order to gather evidence of their crimes. With the evidence he had collected, the police were able to put away all the bad guys and Julien was a hero. The story had a happy ending after all, and Tyra realized that Julien was truly her one and only. They got married shortly after and have been living happily ever after. The end.